Hello all and welcome back to another recording. Today we're back on studio and I am covering how to make some roads. Um, I will do other such builds in the future and such tutorials so I can help the community in my bit. Uh, but today we're just going to focus on three different styles. Left to right we have, let's ungroup that, there we go. We have the classic, so that's literally from memory 5 parts. The low poly road is same deal, but we're talking a different scale, and also like we're starting to talk about scale, but we're also talking about different materials. Whereas here we're looking at larger vehicles, we're looking at larger environment essentially, um, and then a realistic road where we are looking more at the detail. Um, which will be the next episode, just to help keep this video short and manageable for most viewers. Um, and for me, actually make it because the realistic road, actually making this demonstration bit last night nearly sent me mental. So we're not going to do that today in this video. But yeah, so we'll start with this one, and that is the classic road. Now, what I'm showing here is just a general look at how to make roads. There is plugins, but there's also the fact of what I build here may not suit what you are needing for your game. Um, oh, um, so yeah, I've scaled these to what I would normally use within that theme or that design aesthetic, um, and what size I would need for that. So I suspect most would fall between these two, so low poly and realistic. Um, but I guess that also depends on the project. I've seen a few people bring back the classic style as well, which is awesome, of course. So we'll first duplicate so I can actually properly. Let's just get some sizes here. So that's 63, okay. So I'll just do it from the start. So again, just to be clear, this is the one we're making right now. Um, so spawning it apart, and to keep it as close to what Roblox had when it was classic, the lowest you could go, from my understanding, was zero point 0.2. So to keep our road nice and thin, we want to anchor it, but also to scale it to zero point 0.2 studs. And then we want to make it, well, this is what I've done for the demonstration. You might have wider vehicles, you might have thinner ones. Just depends on what you're doing. But for this demonstration, I'm doing the roads at 63 by 63. Apparently, I want to do 64, but we're not going to have that conversation. Now, it's totally up to you. You can either color it now, or you can wait and do it after. Each to their own. And first, I would advise that we start with the uh, markers. Again, keeping it to 0.2 for the fact that is what would have been. And because it's classic, typically most would go with one stud wide for the lines, the uh, road markings. There we go. Give that a little bit of a moment there. So we're copying this, nice and simple. I think yeah, there we go. So nice and simple. I'll change the color just to keep it a little easier for folks to see what I'm doing. Uh, yeah, we're a little over. That's why it's not perfectly lining up. But yeah, so the next thing is we want to do the sidewalks, which same principle. It is. I'm just going to copy these ones, and so I don't have to copy that again. Just put a little part in, like so. And what did I do those ones at? I did them at 10. Now, again, like the roads themselves, you might need them to be thicker. You might need them to be thinner. It's totally up to you. And I did the sidewalks at 1 stud high, so most vehicles are not going to come onto the sidewalk at that height. Something you would have probably noticed is I haven't changed the materials. When you look at most of the classic or that sort of design of game, you would find that they're actually very simple with the materials as well. So I've kept all the parts plastic. Um, but of course, if you want to experiment with other materials, go for it. That's the beauty. There's no one way to do anything on this platform. There's plenty of wrong ways in how you interact with everyone and stuff like that. But when it comes to making stuff, we all have our own style. But yeah, so very simple, very, I mean, if you, we all have our own reasons why we want to have a classic style baseplate, not baseplate road segment. And you can, like, of course, do different things with it. So if you want to have a turn, you can easily make it look blocky, but you can also do curved. You can make an intersection, which I'm happy to do more of this, like tutorial stuff, making roads, like different types of roads, if people want that. So please do comment that below, and I will gladly do it. Now I will build this one on this side. So what did I make this one again? 51.5. Okay. So low poly is pretty much the classic, like how I built the classic, but we're looking at more realistic proportions for things. We're looking at um, more realistic sizing and scaling of parts. Whereas if you look at classic, things are more bulky, they're more blocky, and a lot more simple with colors and also with materials. Whereas here we're starting to get into the more realistic, but we're trying to keep the game simple. So it's a middle ground. Um, but like I said, I will make it again, like so. Yes, I'm only joking. We're going to actually make it. So same deal as before. Most of my roads, other people will do something differently. But for me, I like to scale my roads as thin as I can, which typically for me, I find 0.2 studs works best. Um, if you have something that works better for you, go with that. And then I should have done both at the same time. Whoops. And like so. Um, and like I was saying before, we get a bit more creative with the materials too. So I'll be using asphalt. Apparently I'm using salt here. But on the demo here, I actually use concrete for everything. So you can use asphalt, you can use concrete, depends on what you want to do. Can actually make, yeah, I'm just going to make it all concrete for my own simplicity here. There we go. And now, same deal with the lines, but the difference is we're actually making them, again, as I was saying before, a bit more appropriate to, a bit more scaled. There we go. I don't know what I was trying to say there for a second. Uh, so, okay, there's a very good reason why we actually change the color of stuff so we can actually see what we're doing better. So get rid of that and change those to yellow. We use that. And like before, same deal with the sidewalks. These ones are 10 as well. Just spawn in that extra part. I think everything, but Uh, do, do, do. I think someone messaged me. Whoops. Forgot to tell everyone I was doing this. We want to make you 10. We'll change the color in just a second. Like so. And so, now I forgot to mention at the start of the video, I actually don't have my move feature in, like if you go into the model category and you have snapping, I actually have move turned off because I find that's what works best for me. But again, do what works for you. So, I mean, everything I've just done, you can do with snapping on. I just prefer it off. That way I can get more refined shaping as well on certain things. But yeah, so that is the 2 roads I'll be doing for this video because this one will take us a while uh, to do this realistic one. But yeah, I mean, we can add stuff, a little bit more stuff rather, to the low poly. We could add another 2 parts if we really want to, or to simulate the gutters. Um, but again, I was trying to keep it to what you would expect of a low poly, very few parts, um, which is very similar to what classic would be, but it's a different aesthetic, is what we're looking at there. It's the low poly can be a different aesthetic in the sense of materials, whereas classic is very plasticky, blocky, and in my opinion, really fun. Um, Hence why I'm doing games with this style and this style, and I think this style. Can't remember. Um, I'm doing a lot of things. Anyway, so I hope you all enjoyed. I will try and get this one out as quick as possible as well. But yeah, I hope to see you all in the next one.